So this OMNET-PP project, okay, see it will be bit complicated here. So what you need to do is, you need to understand that OMNET-PP must be installed in a directory without space. So it should not be installed in my documents, it should not be installed in program files, anything. It should be installed in a directory which does not contain any space. Point number one. So it is always better that we create our project name. Okay, say whatever project we'll be doing, say my OMNET. Okay, so whatever your project name is, with your name, your project name, we can make a directory. For OMNET, you have a zip file called Omnetpp. Okay, we are going to copy this, put it inside my OMNET. Before we start with simulation, OMNET uses a mix mode, okay, where it installs GCC or C++ library that we commonly use in Unix. Okay, it also uses TCL/TK, two graphical scripts that we use in Unix. Because of this mix mode, many antivirus program triggers an error whenever you try to compile OMNET and few files gets deleted. So before you install OMNET in your system, always ensure that your antivirus is turned off. That's the first step. If it is not, then definitely your installation will not be successful. So I'm going to turn off the antivirus. Okay, unzip this one. So in OMNET 3.x software, like 3.2 what we have used, we compile using Visual Studio.NET compiler. Here you have to first install Visual Studio. It will come with Visual Studio redistribution package, C++ redistribution package 2010. Okay, on that only remaining all OMNET stuff will get compiled, and it will come ported with its own compiler and IDE or integrated environment, okay, which is nothing but Eclipse. The facility with OMNET 4.2 is that, like in OMNET, whenever we wanted to code all this handle message, send and everything, we had to remember, how to write this method, what are the parameters. Here, because you are using Eclipse, okay, all these hints will come automatically. So while you are typing the code, control space if you give, it will show the hints. And if there are any errors, you just take your mouse over the error, it is going to give you options how you can set right. Just by clicking you can set right the errors. Okay, so we'll go inside OMNET-PP. So this is my complete directory. Okay, D drive my OMNET, OMNET-PP, OMNET-PP 4.2.2. There is no space. I can go about it. So this is the command prompt from which you can run. Okay, earlier we were using Visual Studio 2005, 2008, 2010 command prompt. Here you do not need that. If you click on this, this will automatically create a command prompt. For installation, there are two commands: /configure. /configure will set up all the paths that are stored over here, paths of the directories, TCL, TK, GCC. Okay, so Xgraph, everything will be configured, all the directories. Then it will create a makefile. Okay, just like Unix. So what is a makefile? It's almost like a batch file that we used to, in Windows you run a batch file, in Unix we run a makefile. So what are the directories that needs to be compiled? The result of compilation to be linked with which other directories, all these things will be given by this makefile. All you have to do is just run make, that's it. So /configure to configure all the directories, make to compile and prepare your OMNET. So So you can see in the directory, a lot of make files will start getting prepared. Okay. It is generally not going to take too much of time. Within 1 minute itself it will configure everything, and if everything is configured properly, you'll get a message at the end that is called good. So if you get this message, directories have been properly configured, all you have to do is give make command. If you make finish anything before 10 minutes, you got to understand that some error has occurred. Okay? So it would virtually take around 10 to 12 minutes. Okay, generally with 4 GB RAM, let it compile up. In Omnetpp 4.2, when we are working with wireless simulation, we generally have very fewer files. Okay, one is for application layer, one is for network layer, one is for physical layer, one for mobility model. Okay, and everything is managed together. One is for routing. But here in Omnetpp 4.2, it's all framework based. So we have a framework for battery. Okay, we have a framework for power. We have a framework for mobility. We have a framework for application. That framework contains a framework for burst traffic. That has a framework for CBR type of traffic. We have a framework for graph plotting. So everything is a framework. Now, what is a framework? It's set of codes, okay, and libraries which you can use from your project. All you have to do while preparing your project is, there is no such thing called raw coding that we used to adopt in Omnetpp 3.2. You have to select the framework, everything will be ready. You just got to change wherever it needs to be changed. Okay, it's almost now similar to NS2. Okay, whatever you will be writing, it's more or less like a script. Okay, you'll hardly have to write any code of yours. Multipath is supported, fuzzy logic is supported, optimization is supported. You got to catch up that library, put it in your code, and done. This is the whole approach. Okay, once you are done with this, we have a library called VINS, which is specifically for vehicular ad hoc network, but it also comes supported with Mixim. Okay, rather than compiling Mixim separately, go with VINS. Okay, it has got already compiled Mixim version, so easy for you to use the framework. So all you have to do is download this VINS package, go inside your directory, wherever your directory is. So my running, paste it here and unzip. Eclipse has an option to unzip it also, but not always all the files are copied. So it's better that whenever you are loading the framework, always unzip it and load it. Eclipse gives you both the versions basically. So we have that ready also. We have Omnet already compiled. So we'll start with Omnet. Now for starting Omnet, either you can every time open this command prompt and type Omnetpp, or else there is a lazy method available. Go inside the bin folder of your Omnetpp 4.2.2, locate the command Omnetpp. Here is your command Omnetpp. Send a shortcut to desktop. Okay, so from here you can start your Omnet now. Just double click on this, it will start your Eclipse editor. Yeah. We'll say okay. You may not always get screen like this. You may sometimes you may get a screen, a plain home page. Okay, there is an option called workbench. Okay, just take your mouse to all the options. Some 3 to 4 options will be there. There is an option called workbench. Once you click on workbench, this will be available. Okay. One second. I think
So this is Eclipse, right?
this is Eclipse IDE.
Sir, is it similar to the before version?
No. We had not earlier compiled any code in OMNETpp 3.2 in any IDE. We just used sparse editors like Visual Studio for writing the code and all that. We did not have any IDEs available over there. This is the IDE that I was talking about. Here is an option, last option called Workbench. Click on this option, Workbench, and you will see this library. Okay, these are some of the examples. You cannot open any of this examples. See, they will not be openable. So if you want to see any OMNET simulation, right click on that example. There is an option called Open Project. Open the project. Now this project is visual to you. Okay. For running any project, there should be a folder called binaries. If there is a folder called binaries, then it will be executable. Otherwise, you have to build it. That is simple code. And what we are going to execute is omnetpp.ini or any ini file that comes with play option. So here 3 files are there with play option. I'll select omnetpp.ini. As I see binary folder, I understand that it's already compiled. No need to compile anything. Just right click, run as. It will give you the option OMNETpp simulation. So OMNETpp simulation. Say OK. It's going to load that. To get this and just execute. Seeing the message passing, you will understand that your first task has been done, that is at least Omnet has been installed properly. Okay, we'll close it.
Sir, will our project output will be similar to this?
No, it will be different. Okay, we have verified right now that Omnet is working. Fine.
Okay.
I do not want to mess up with this version, so every time I finish off my task, I'll right click. We shall close that project. So by mistake or by any other ways, it will not be corrupted. Now the important thing is to bring that Mixim framework into action. So here you need to be a bit careful with first thing, file, import. There is a section called general. Here there is a section called existing project into workspace. You'll have to say next, browse. I already had unzipped it in a folder called my omnet. Inside my omnet I had unzipped it in a folder called wings. Now one thing that you have to be careful about is, you need to under any circumstances select this option, copy project into workspace. If you do not do that, you'll keep on wondering what's actually going on. It will compile, it will not execute. So this is the single most important thing about running any framework in Omnet. If you are importing it, make sure that that is also copied in your workspace directory, such that while you are building, all these folders will be built separately, because see, every framework will come as a separate folder. Okay, unless and until you import it to current Omnet workspace, that will be compiled separately. They will not be compiled with other existing Omnet frameworks. Okay, so this option is important, and this folder contains a Mixim framework, so that framework will be automatically shown. If it's not selected, select it, say finish. Mixim will appear over here. Now, if you open anything, you will not see a binary folder anywhere, which clearly means that it is uncompiled. This is where we need to compile it. I'll close it entirely, click on project. There is options called build all, build project, build working set. Blindly you have to build all. So whenever you are selecting build all, every project along with its dependency will get recompiled. Okay, dependency in this sense, suppose this Mixim framework was using radio framework. Okay, so radio framework will also get compiled with Mixim framework, such that the output of the object files of that used framework will be copied here also. We just said build all. This is another time consuming stuff over here, so you need to be patient with this. Let it run. It will take a bit of time, not as much as Omnet took, okay, but definitely it's going to get compiled. Once it is compiled, it will be done. This window will be closed off, and here we'll get an option that compiled successfully. So Mixim is not compiled. I intend to check if the things are correct or not. As you can see, the binary folder has also appeared now. There are so many different files. Unlike Omnetpp 3.2, where we used to write a configuration file and double click on the exe, because see here, this exe requires many other libraries, that is TCL, TK, Python libraries, and they are being told to Omnet through configuration, which user doesn't know. If you actually go physically to that directory and double click, it will not get executed because it will not be able to locate the path. So execution has to be purely through Eclipse, and the execution has to be through omnetpp.ini. How the execution should be done? We have this example. In that we have an example called base network. Okay, base network. Omnetpp.ini. Right click. Run as Omnet simulation. Because there are so many binaries in the binary folder, actual binary folder, you need to select appropriately, and if you make a mistake at this step, again delete whole Omnet, compile, making the whole process together. Okay, cleaning is not perfect, it's buggy. So even if you clean the project, it will not be relinked. It's like that. So this step you should be careful about. So while running base network, there are again two folders here, okay, test and example. You should be careful that if you are picking up example, it should be example exe only, not the exe in test folder. So before you press OK, see 10 times that if it is correct or not. So I should be having examples base network. Example base network. For example base network omnetpp.ini. If this is perfect, we'll say OK. Hope that it works. It does. Okay. So this is basically the WiMAX framework or mesh topology with mobility, differential mobility. So whatever message, this window and everything will be like our Omnetpp. Okay. The thing is, once you execute, go to express mode, and here also you'll get two options where either graphics will be automatically updated or they'll not be. So this option is as usual like our Omnetpp. And if I need to stop, I can close this.
These all nodes were created.
No, they are already there. Through configuration, we'll see the changes in the configuration. Do you want to finish it before exiting? Yes, of course. Once I finish, you'll see here one folder will get created by name results. It'll take a bit of time and thus create a folder by name results. So once this folder gets created, you got to understand that simulation is completed successfully. Loop inside the result, there are two types of files basically, scalar files and vector files. Open this result by double clicking, say finish. Its data will appear. Here one run command will be there. Okay, run that data. So you now see statistics gathered at different things, either base network or a particular node. Say for a particular node you want to check out back off duration, okay, or for a particular node you want to check what is the number of backups. Okay, so all you have to do is double click, the graph appears. Okay, no header, just double click, graph appears. Close it from this, go back to the number of duplicate packets, no duplicate packet was transmitted, number of transmitted frames by this node, number of transmitted node. Now how it is running through omnetpp.ini. So as far as our general understanding of Omnet, we should be able to change this one. I'll go with omnetpp.ini. Here though two versions will be there, one through GUI which you can input and go into source mode. As we are more accustomed to this, we'll straight away go to source mode. 4 mobiles were there, so therefore somewhere 5 mobiles were there, so number of nodes is shown as 5. I want to see if I am being able to work with Omnet correctly or not. It's 10, and in the configuration you see mobility has been assigned separately. Because there are 5 nodes, it's okay. I want 10 nodes, so I'll change the zeros and ones to our patent star. So for all the nodes, mobility of x is 150 meter per second, mobility in z direction is this, y direction is this. You may keep any value as 0 only. OMNET-PP 3.2, 3.3, they were all 2-dimensional versions. You had only x and y support. Here you have all the 3 directions, so it's a 3D deployment. The meaning is, if you hold your phone and stand, and when you hold your phone and sit down, there is a change in the z axis. So there will be a signal change even when there is a change in the z axis. That is the case. So after making the changes, control S.
So what are these symbols?
Information. This is information.
Like,
okay, value is same as.
Error 1?
This is warning. This is warning. If it is not used by anything, it will give you. If it is an error, it will give you in red color. Directly at the till the top, you can see red color mark. Okay, so it will be propagated till the top, and it will also tell you where exactly that error is. And if there is an error, here will be a fixing, you know. Okay, so if you click on that, it will be fixed up. If it is capable of fixing that. OMNET-pp.ini run as OMNET-pp simulation. I have introduced 10 nodes. Should run with 10 nodes. All our other understanding, like running with fast mode, express mode, everything was there. Initial locations at the node were at the same position. Now with their mobility, they are going away. There are 10 nodes, so my simulation is perfectly working. This is the place from where we have to start working with our project. Alright?
So execution can be done.
Yeah.